Assalamualaikum grade 5. Are you ready? Okay, today we are going to have the English final test for grade 5. No, just kidding. It's the review, guys. Okay, are you ready? Please keep this in your mind that you need to watch the video from the beginning until the very end, okay? And get your review paper ready and your pencil ready and your eraser ready. And we're going to check your answers. If you make mistakes, don't worry, just fix or correct the mistakes yourself. Okay? 5. In your final test, the units tested are Unit 6, Unit 7, Unit 8, Unit 9, and Unit 10. In Unit 6, you learned about imperatives, sequence adverbs, and preposition with. In Unit 7, you learned about adverbs of frequency and synonyms and antonyms. In Unit 8, you learned about the order of adjectives. In Unit 9, you learned about present and past passive, adverbs of time, and parts of a news article. And in Unit 7, you learned about while as when and models. Okay, let's start with Unit 6, Making Things. Is your paper ready? Okay, here we go. Okay, the first stop is imperatives. We're going to see how well you make imperatives. And you can check your pupil's book on page 12 and also your notebook for this. Okay, the second stop is the sequence adverbs. Okay, uh, and the last stop is preposition with. For sequence adverb, you can check your pupil's book page 13, and for preposition with, you can check your pupil's book page 14. Okay, guys, now let's get ready for the exercise. Okay, number 1, read the steps carefully. Write the correct sequence adverbs in the boxes. Okay, how to make a cup of tea? Can you make a cup of tea? For the first step, what sequence adverbs do you use? Yes, it's always first. First is always used for the first step. Okay? Can you use first for the second step? No. Can you use first for the last step? No. Always for the first step. Now, the second step, the third step, the fifth step. What's your answer for those? Next, then, after that. Good. But can you use after that for the second step? Yes. Can you use then for the second step? Yes. Next, then, after that can be used for the second step until the step before the last step. Okay? So if there are like 10 steps, you can use next, then, or after that for the second step until the step number 9. Okay? Now, the last step always uses finally. Very good, grade 5. Okay, do you have any questions? Good. Easy, right? Okay, now number 2. Your job here is to rewrite the sentences as imperatives. Now look at the example. For the positive sentence, you color the boxes purple. Now, do you still remember what imperatives are? Imperatives are sentences that tell you to do something. Do you use a subject for an imperative? No, because imperatives are incomplete sentences. So you always start with the verb 1. Or if it is a negative imperative, you use don't. Okay, just like the examples. Look at the positive sentence example. You color the boxes purple. You only need to omit you. So the answer is color the boxes purple. Okay, just omit you here like this. Toot. Okay, and of course for the negative sentence, you also omit you like this. Okay, so the answer is don't color the boxes yellow. Okay, now kids, what's your answer for A? You brush your teeth after having the meal. Now, it's so easy. You just have to cross out you. So the answer must be brush your teeth after having the meal. Good. Now, B. What's your answer for B? It's also so easy. Your job is only to cross out you. So the answer must be don't cook the shrimps more than 15 minutes. Good. Do you have any questions? Good. Right, now number 3. Your job here is to rewrite the sentences using with plus the tool or the material. Okay, look at the example. We use acrylic paint to color the boxes. And you change the sentence or you rewrite the sentence using with. Okay, so the sentence become we color the boxes with acrylic paint. How do you do it? First, you must find the word after to. This case here, the word after to is color. Then if we have a subject, then we must rewrite the subject like this. Okay, so after the subject, we can see the word after the word to, which is color. So we color the boxes with acrylic paint. Okay, and so what's your answer for B? The word after to is type, and we have they as the subject here. So the answer must be they type the letter with a computer. Now, what's your answer for B? The word after to is make. So we must start with make. Do we have a subject in B? No, there is no subject. That's why you start with make, like this. Make children toys with safe and natural materials. Okay? Guys, let's see if you can answer these, okay? Find the correct spelling of each word. Now, Arctic, is it A-R-C-T? Oh, wait. Is it the left one or the right one? The left one, yes. Coming, the left one or the right one? The right one, yes. Calendar, the left one or the right one? The left one, of course. And niece, the right one. Potatoes, the right one. Okay, now proof. Which one? The right one. Promise. The left one. Kiwi. The last one. The left one. Similar. The right one. Until the left one. Very good. Now let's go on to unit 7, guys. 7. Adventures in space. 7. You learned about the first one is adverbs of frequency. Your job here is to make questions and answers about how often people do something using adverbs of frequency. What are adverbs of frequency? You can check your pupils book page 28 and 29. The second stop is synonyms and antonyms. You can check your People's Book page 26 or your workbook page 19 and 20. Talk about adverbs of frequency. There are two kinds of adverbs of frequency. The first one is non-specific, like always, usually, often, sometimes, hardly ever, never. Why do you call them non-specific? Because they don't tell you the numbers, how many times you do it. They don't tell you. Okay. Now, example: I always do my homework. He sometimes takes his sister to school. As you can see here, these adverbs of frequency, these non-specific adverbs of frequency, always come before the verb. What is the verb in I always do my homework? The verb is do. That's right. What is the verb in he sometimes takes his sister to school? The verb is takes. Now, let's see, why do we use s here? Why is there an s after the verb? Because the subject is he, and we're talking about routines. If we are talking about routines, it means that the tense that we use is the present simple. If the subject is he, she, or it in the present simple, then you need to use the s after the verb s, okay? Now, the second kind of adverbs of frequency, the non-specific ones, like hourly, weekly, monthly, daily, fortnightly, yearly, you know the numbers, okay? Hourly, once an hour or every hour. Weekly, once a week or every week. Monthly, once a month or every month. Daily, once a day or every day. Fortnightly, twice a month or every 14 days. Yearly, once a year or every year. And what about every second Friday? Every second Friday is the same with monthly. Why? Because second Friday only happens once a month. Okay? Just like the first Monday or the third Tuesday, they always come once a month. Okay? Example: I brush my teeth twice a day. He reads Quran daily. Where do you put the specific adverbs of frequency? At the end of the sentence. Okay, just like our examples here. Second one is making questions with ever. Okay, we use ever for yes no questions. Like this: do you ever play chess in your free time? You can answer by using this: always, usually, often, sometimes. And the answer is yes. Okay. And does he go to the cinema? If the answer is no, then you must use hardly ever or never. Okay. Don't forget the S. Don't forget that if the subject is he, she, or it, you must use does. Okay, grade 5. How often? We use how often to ask for the frequency. Okay. How often does he visit his grandparents? And the answer you can use non-specific adverbs of frequency or specific adverbs of frequency in the answer. Like our examples here. He often visits his grandparents. He visits his grandparents weekly. Like that. Okay? Don't forget to use does and as because the subject is he. Okay? Okay, now it's time to answer the questions. Number 1, make questions and answers using ever with the phrases in the box and adverbs of frequency related to you. So the answer is based on your experiences. Okay? Now, What is the question? Do you ever break your fast with dates? And how do you answer that using specific adverbs of frequency? Like this. Yes, I break my fast with dates daily. It means every day. Okay. For non-specific one, you say, yes, I always break my fast with dates. Can you see the difference? The adverbs of frequency is here for the specific one, and the adverbs of frequency is here for the non-specific one. Okay. Now, grade 5, there is a correction that you need to make. Some corrections, I mean, for specific. In your On your review paper, the specific is with S, and you need to change it into C. Okay, guys? Make questions and answers using the timetable with how often. Okay? It's about how often you practice Kumon and practice playing tennis. Like you can see here, practice Kumon on Monday and Thursday. It means there are 2 times, you do it twice a week. Practice playing tennis only on Sunday. It means that you do it once a week. So what's the question? How often do you practice Kumon? And the answer, I practice Kumon twice a week. Okay? And B, how often does he practice playing tennis? Now, as you can see that the subject I use here is he. So you need to use does. And the answer is he practices playing tennis weekly. Okay, don't forget to use S for he. Is synonyms and antonyms. Okay, it's on your pupils in your pupils book, page 26. Okay, the synonym of tiny is little. The synonym of amazed is surprise. Okay, next, antonyms. The antonyms of like is dislike, and the antonyms of happy is unhappy. Okay, grade 5. There is a correction that you need to make here, which is in B. Cross out it and change it into them because we're talking about stars. Now, what's your answer for A? Marvis was very happy to be in space. But, there is a but, so the answer must be the antonyms. That's right. What is the opposite of happy? Unhappy. So Marvis was very happy to be in space, but he was unhappy that he couldn't see his family. Okay, now B. Marvin was blah by how beautiful the stars were. Was surprised by how beautiful the stars were. And he was because the connector is and. So the answer must be the synonyms of surprise. Amazed by them. Marvin was surprised by how beautiful the stars were and he was amazed by them. 5. Can you find the 7 differences of these two monsters? Let's see. The first difference is the color of the earlobe. And the second difference is still the color of the earlobes. And the third difference is this, the left eyebrow. The monster on the right is missing the left eyebrow. And the fourth difference is the color of the right eye. Okay, the monster on the right has different colored eyes. Okay, and the fifth difference is the tooth. Okay, the monsters on the right only has 3 teeth. And the sixth difference is the color of the backpack flap. And the last difference is the belly of the monster. Okay. Now let's move on to unit 8. 8. A bag of laughs. Okay, grade 5. In Unit 8, you learned about the order of adjectives. You are needed to put numbers of adjectives in the correct order for describing a noun. Okay, there are 6 kinds of adjectives that you need to put before a noun. The first one is opinion. The second one is size. The third one is age. The fourth one is shape. And next, color. And the last one is origin. Okay, grade 5. So, the order of adjective is opinion, size, age, shape, color, and origin. Or as you often say, Osasco. Osasco. Now let's do the exercise. Number 1. Put these words below under the correct category in the table. Okay, the words are African, enormous, black, beautiful, oval, and ancient. Now, what is the opinion? Is it African? No. Enormous? No. Black? No. Beautiful? Yes. So beautiful is the opinion. The size. Which one is the size? Enormous. Very good. The age. Which one is the age? Ancient. Very good. Shape. Which one is the shape? Oval. That's right. And color. Which one is the color? Black. That's right. Grade 5. And the last one, the origin, African. So, beautiful, enormous, ancient, oval, black, African. What do you think it is? Maybe, let's see, it's a mask or a sculpture. Now let's put it in a sentence. It's a beautiful, enormous, ancient, oval, black, African sculpture. Okay, number 2. Complete the sentences using the adjectives in the box. There are only 3 adjectives, but you must use all such the order of adjectives, to put them before the noun. Okay, even though there are only 3, 4, or 2 adjectives, you always have to follow all such. So let's see. Indonesian. Indonesian is the origin. Good. Brave. Brave is the opinion. Yes. Young. Young is the age. Very good. So, which one goes first? The opinion. Very good. Brave. After that, which one goes after brave? Indonesian or young? Of course, young. Yes. And the last one must be Indonesian. Okay. Brave, opinion, young, age, Indonesian, origin. Good. Now, grade 5, let's see if we can find out who gets the ice cream. Is it the crocodile, the pig, the elephant, or the giraffe? What's the answer? It's the crocodile. Who got the crocodile? Okay, now to make it easier to do the puzzle easily, you can start from the ice cream. Let's see. Let's prove our answer. Yes, it's the crocodile. Okay, grade 5. Now let's move on to unit 9. Unit 9. Read all about it. There are 3 stops in unit 9. The first stop is present and past passive. Look at your pupils book, page 60 and 61. Here you need to construct passive sentences in present simple tense and construct passive sentences in past simple tense. The second stop is the adverbs of times. Here you need to use the adverbs of time in sentences. Look at your pupils book, page 62. And the last stop is parts of a news article. Here you need to identify parts of a news article. Grade 5. For the first stop, we are discussing about constructing passive sentences in present simple tense. Okay, let's look at the first sentence. The principal gives a speech every Monday morning. This is an active sentence. Why? Because the subject is the one that does the action. Okay? The subject is the doer. Okay? And a speech is the object. Now, this is the pattern or the formula of an active sentence. Subject plus verb 1 plus object plus blah 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 blah. Okay, this is in present simple tense. Okay, grade 5, remember that we are talking about routines here if we use the present simple tense. Okay, and how do you change the sentence into a passive sentence? First, your job is to find the object of the active sentence. What is the object? A speech. So, in the passive sentence, a speech must come first, like this. After that, followed by is plus given. Given is the verb tree of gives. Now, why do you use is? Because a speech is only one. Okay, it's singular. That's why you use is. We also use is if the subject is uncountable, like water, like rice. Okay, grade 5. Now, is a speech the doer? Is a speech the one that gives? Oh, wait. Okay, so a speech cannot give itself, right? It must be done by someone. So a speech is not the doer. Okay, the doer is the principal, like this. So the pattern or the formula of a passive sentence in present simple is subject plus is or are plus verb 3 plus the doer. Okay, do you always have to mention the doer? No. If the doer is not uh, specific, then you don't have to mention the doer. Okay? Okay, grade 5. Now let's answer the questions. Number 1. Complete the sentences with is or are. What's your answer for A? The grade 5 students. Let's see. How many students are there? More than one. So, the answer must be are. Very good. B. Mr. Javits. Mr. Javits. How many Mr. Javits are there? There is only one. So, the answer must be is. Okay. Now C. Our lunch. Our lunch is or are? Our lunch, because lunch is uncountable, you use is. Okay, guys? Now, number 2. Change the sentences into passive. Look at A. The fishermen catch fish at night. What is the object of the sentence? The object of the sentence is fish. So you must put fish at the beginning of the passive sentence. How many fish are there? There are more than one fish. That's why you use are. Remember that the plural form of fish is also fish. One fish, two fish, three fish. So the answer is fish are caught at night. You can add by the fisherman or you can leave the fisherman out because it's not specific. Okay, what about B? Gardeners plant the seeds in March. What is the object of the sentence? The object of the sentence is the seeds. That's right. So you must start the passive sentence with the seeds. The seeds only one or more than one? More than one. That's why you use are. Like this. The seeds are planted by gardeners in March. You can leave out gardeners because they are not specific. Making passive sentences in past simple tense. The active sentence is EP Futsal Team won the Jakarta Cup. Now which one is the doer? The doer is EP Futsal Team. That's why it is an active sentence. The subject is the doer. Okay? And won is the verb to of win. That's how you know that this sentence is in past simple. Okay? And the object is the Jakarta Cup. This is the formula of an active sentence in past simple. Subject as the doer plus the verb to and plus the object. Now, how do you change it into a passive sentence? First, you must find the object of the active sentence, which is the Jakarta Cup. So you put the Jakarta Cup as the first words of the passive sentence. So you say, the Jakarta Cup was won by EP Futsal team. Why was? Because there is only one Jakarta Cup. What if there are more than one? You use were instead of was. So the Jakarta Cup is the subject but not the doer, okay? And the doer is EP Futsal team. So the formula for a passive sentence in past simple is subject plus to be, which is was or were, plus verb 3 plus the doer. Remember, when we're making a passive sentence, you always use the verb 3, no matter what the tense is. Okay? Now let's do the exercise. Complete the sentences with was or were. Was for singular or uncountable and were for plurals. Okay, like A. The pyramids, singular or plural, is plural, more than one. That's why you use were. B. Arita's green pencil. How many pencils? There is only one pencil. That's why you use was. And C. My face. How many faces? Only one. That's why you use was. Okay, now number 2. Change the sentences into passive. A. Rifat understood the lesson very well. Now let's find the object of the sentence. What's the object of the sentence? The lesson. So you start the passive sentence with the lesson. The lesson, how many? Only one. So you use was. The lesson was. And you put the verb 3 of understand, which is understood. So the answer is the lesson was understood very well by Rifat. Do you have to mention Rifat? Yes, because Rifat is specific, right? Now, B. The wind blew my hat away. Which one is the object of the sentence? The object of the sentence is my hat. My hat. How many hats? Only one. That's why you use was, not were. Okay? So my hat was. What is the verb 3 of blow? Blow, blew, blown with N. That's why the answer is my hat was blown away by the wind. Do you need to mention the wind? Yes. because it's specific. 5. The second stop in Unit 9 is adverbs of time. Here, you need to use adverbs of time in sentences correctly. Yes, you can check your pupils book, page 62. What does it say? We use adverbs of time such as today, now, yesterday, tomorrow, soon, last night, and later to talk about when something happens, okay? And we can begin a sentence with these adverbs to emphasize the time. Like, today, a zookeeper said blah 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 blah. Soon, the baby was up blah 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 blah. Last night, I blah 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 blah. Okay? Now let's do the exercise. Number 1, write the adverbs of time you know in the table. For the past adverbs of time, examples: yesterday, last week, last month, last year, 3 days ago, a month ago, last night, etc. Okay, so for the past adverbs of time, it must be yesterday or something with last blah 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 or something with blah 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 ago. Yes? Now, do you know other than that? You can write it down yourself. Okay? And for the present adverbs of time. Example, now, today, at the moment, etc. Do you have anything else? You can add them on your paper. And for the future, we have soon, later, next week, next month, next year, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, etc. Okay, so for the future, you can use soon, later, or something with next, blah, 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 blah. Okay, do you have anything else? You can add them yourselves on your paper. Now, number 2, choose the correct answers, A, B, C, or D. A. Uncle Faiz took us to a Japanese restaurant, blah blah blah, and the food was delicious. Okay, so what is the answer here? Uncle Faiz took us, so it must happen in the past. So which one is the adverb of time for the past? Now, soon, this evening, or last night? The answer is last night. Okay, now B. What can we do blah 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 to protect ourselves from coronavirus? What's the best answer here? Is it today, next week, this morning, last year? It's about now, right? We're talking about the present. So, the correct answer is today. Stop in Unit 9 is the parts of a news article. Here you must be able to identify parts of a news article. Here. Okay, now in a newspaper article, you can see the name of the newspaper. Wait, that's what's on the newspaper, yeah. And headline, the reporter's name, and you can see the article that has the opening and subheading, and there is a picture, there is a caption of the picture, and some extra information. Okay, and maybe there will be some advertisement inserted in the space of the news article. Okay. Okay, grade 5, because we're talking about the passive needs to use the verb tree of the verb. So here, let's find out the answers of these. The infinitive, to be, to become, to begin, to burn, to cause, to cut. And you must write down the simple past and the past participle of those words of those infinitive. So to be, the simple past is was or were. The past participle is been. Very good. What about become? Become, the past simple is became and the past participle is become. Yes, become, became, become. Next, begin. Begin, began, begun. That's right. Burn, burnt, burnt. Cost, cost, cost. Cut, cut, cut. Very good. So if you want to know more, then you can check your pupils book on the last page. There is a list of irregular verbs. On to Unit 10, Road Safety. Unit 10, you learned about while, as, when, and you can check your pupils book page 75 to know more about it. And then you learned about modals. Here, you need to use positive and negative modals in sentences. To have more information about it, you can check your pupils book page 76 and 77. Okay? First up is while, as, when. Here, you need to decide the correct connector to complete a sentence. While, as, or when. While, as, and when are connectors that indicate the timing, like this. While she was doing the laundry, she did her homework. So, while indicates the action that started first. Okay? As he was reading, he realized he knew the person in the article. As here also indicates the action that started first, the reading. Okay, and then she was sweeping the floor when she found her lost ring. When is used to indicate the second action. Okay, so while is followed by past continuous, and as is also followed by past continuous, and when is followed by a past simple, like that, grade 5. Okay, now the exercise. Number 1, complete the sentences with while, as, or when. A. What follows after the blank? It's a past continuous. That's why the answer is while or as. You can choose while or as for this. Now look at B. What follows after the blank? Was looking, a past continuous. So the answer must be while or as. Okay, you can choose between while and as. And C. We were watching TV, blah, our father arrived. What follows after the blank? A past simple. So the answer must be when. Okay, that's the only answer. Thing that you need to do in this topic is to contrast the use of past continuous and past simple in a sentence, like this. When there are two actions in the past connected by while or as or when, we use the past continuous for the longer action and the past simple for the shorter one, like this. While I was driving to school this morning, I met Miss Hapsa. Which one is the past continuous? I was driving. Yes, I was driving is the longer action. So, the shorter action is the one with the past simple, like this. Okay, so I was driving, and suddenly there was Miss Hafsa. Okay, and let's do the exercise. Number 1, complete the sentences with the past continuous and past simple. Circle the correct connector. So you have two jobs here to write down the past continuous and past simple and circle the connector. Okay, now A. She blah in her room while or as or when a thief blah her house. So the answer must be was working. The connector must be when. And the answer for this is entered. That's right. Past continuous, connector when, entered. And B, the connector is at the beginning of the sentence. So the answer must be while or as. Good. While or as I was opening the door, our cat ran out of the house. Good. Now, C. The connector, as you can see here, is at the beginning of the sentence. So the answer must be while or as. While the governor, this is the past continuous, was entering the meeting hall, everyone stood up. Yes, that's right. D. We were lying on the beach sunbathing when we heard a scream. Very good, grade 5. Now E. While or as they were waiting at a bus shelter, a person fell down and fainted. So it's like this, grade 5. Past continuous, past simple. What comes before the past continuous? While or as. What comes before the past simple? When. You can choose whichever connectors you want, but you must put the connectors in the correct place. While and as are at the beginning of the sentence just before the past continuous, and when is put just before the past simple. Okay, grade 5. Our next stop is modals. Here you need to be able to use positive and negative modals in sentences. If you want to know more about it, you can check your pupils book page 76 and 77. Now, positive modals. We use the modals should and ought to when we want to say that something is a good idea or the right thing to do. Okay? So should has the same meaning with ought to. You can choose between should or ought to. And we use must to say that something is compulsory because it is a rule. We also use must when we want something or someone to do something. Okay? So there will be like a consequence if you do not do that something, if you use must. Okay? And negative modals. We use shouldn't to say that something that is not a good idea or not the right thing to do. Okay? But we use mustn't to say that it is forbidden to do something. There is a clear rule about it. It is forbidden to do something. Okay? Do the exercise now. Number 1. Complete the sentences with should, ought to, or must. Okay. A. We blah get 90 in English and maths, or we will not get the scholarship. So there must be a clear rule about this, right? Or we will not get the scholarship. There is a condition that you must meet to get the scholarship. So the answer must be must. B. I blah stay at home. I feel a little bit unwell. So do you have to stay at home? No, you don't have to. But it is a good idea to stay at home because you are feeling a little bit unwell. So the answer must be should or ought to. Okay, guys? Now, C. They blah follow the instructions to make the cookies step by step. Instructions. Okay? Do you have to follow it? Yes. To make the cookies good and delicious, you must follow the instructions. So the answer must be must. D. You blah read more books to broaden your horizon. Okay, do you have to read more books to broaden your horizon? No, you don't have to. But it is a good idea to read books in order to broaden your horizon. So the answer can be should or ought to. E. We blah have a driving license to drive a car. Do you have to have a driving license to drive a car? Yes, you have to have a driving license to drive a car. Okay? It's the basic rule of driving a car. So the answer must be must. Number 2, complete the sentences with should or mustn't. Wait, with shouldn't or mustn't. Okay, let's look at A. This is an emergency exit. You blah lock this door. If this is an emergency exit, you must be able to go through that exit anytime you can or anytime you have to in an emergency situation, right? So it cannot be locked. The answer must be mustn't. Okay, B. You blah buy something that you don't need so that you can save your money. Okay? Uh, Here, can you buy something that you don't need? Yes, you can. But it's better that you don't buy something that you don't need, right? So, it's not a good idea to buy something that you don't need. That's right. The answer must be shouldn't. C. She blah talk on the phone for a very long time. Can she talk on the phone for a very long time? Yes, she can. But is it a good idea? No, it's not. Right? So the answer must be shouldn't. D. We blah make loud noise in the library. Look at that sign. Of course, in the library, we must be silent. Right? So you cannot make loud noise in the library. The answer is mustn't. E. I blah pay the bill late. I don't want to get a fine. Okay? So, if you pay the bill late, you will get a fine. Do you want it? No. So, the answer must be mustn't. Okay, guys? Okay, grade 5. Are you ready for the final test? You have learned Unit 6, Unit 7, Unit 8, Unit 9, Unit 10, and you arrived at the final exam. For your participation, grade 5, if you still have questions, feel free to ask me during the Zoom session or in the Google Classroom or contact me by WhatsApp. Okay? Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.